Right, Rock Addicts. This is DJ Rem from Rock Addict Radio, and I have Bjorn from the band Soulsign on the line. How you doing, man?
Good. How you doing?
Not too bad at all. Thank you very much. Let's, if we can start this with, you can introduce yourself and the other members of the band that aren't with us today. That would be great.
Okay. All right. This is Bjorn Englund from Soulsign. I'm the bass player and founder of the band. We also in the band have an amazing drummer, Mike Cancino, and we have John Mengling on guitar, amazing guitar player, and we have on vocals Mark Bowles that a lot of you guys are probably familiar with from Ingrid Malmsteen's band and Louis John Roth. So we have a great lineup, and we're really looking forward to 2013.
Very cool. Well, I have to say the first time I was sent your tracks and listened to them, I was an instant fan. So you guys definitely rock it out big time, and I appreciate the fact that you guys are making some great music. So thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. Our pleasure.
So so let's start with how long have you guys been together, and or at least how long has this current lineup been together as a band?
This current lineup is fairly new since in the last year or so. The band started in the 90s, but was put on ice for a pretty long time, actually, and we just kind of regrouped back in 2006, 2007, and started playing together again and started working on an album, which turned out to be our album Life in the Dark that came out in the fall of 2011. We're now working on putting out another album in 2013 and possibly re-releasing the first album as well. So we're pretty excited, and we have some good shows coming up. We got some good shows in the U.S. and hopefully in Europe as well this year.
Okay, and can you kind of tell me what you have coming for live shows coming up?
We have a show tonight, actually, in Los Angeles at a place called Paladinos, which is in the valley of Los Angeles, and it's actually our first show in Los Angeles with this lineup, so people are excited, and a lot of people are going to be there, and it's going to be fun. So we can't wait, and we're going to do some more shows around California, first of all, and then work our way to the East Coast. We don't have anything confirmed yet. We're working on shows in Europe, and that has not been confirmed as well. So we're just waiting to see. But should be a fun and interesting spring here to begin with.
Yeah, sounds like it. Well, good luck with everything. Sounds like it should be a good time, I'm thinking.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And it's a good lineup, and it's very solid players and solid guys, and I think the band sounds the best ever it's ever sounded. So we're excited.
Okay. And so how often are you guys able to get together and practice and stuff? Is it something you can do pretty regularly right now?
We haven't been, because we've been traveling. We've all been out of town with other bands. I've been touring with the Disciples, and Mark's been out doing solo tours, and same thing with the other guys. So we just regrouped a couple weeks ago again, and we try to practice when we can and when we got stuff coming up.
Okay, very good. But I mean, I guess as long as it sounds like your lineup's solid, I mean, once you get it down, I think you're probably pretty good to go, right?
Yeah, pretty much. And it's when you have great players perform well, and they know they do their homework, and just the professionalism with the guys and their humble attitude, it just makes things flow, and it's just kind of like, there's a difference between a great player and the right player, if you know what I mean.
Right.
So.
Yep. Very good. So, what kind of influences have you had in your life that made you want to do something like this and kind of kept you going?
Oh, that's a good question. I think I've always been a fan of hard rock and heavy metal and music since I was a kid, and I'd say a lot of different bands like Iron Maiden and things like that, and one of the influences with that I think was to watch how Steve Harris was, a great songwriter and a great band leader, and sort of an inspiration in that sense. So, I have a lot of different influences, but, it's always inspiring to see and, read and listen to stories of different bands and different band leaders, how they've, went through struggles and ups and downs, and that's just part of it, and the whole idea, I think, is to look at the big picture and not give up,
Yep, very good. Did you have anybody in your family growing up that was into music that kind of helped push you a little bit?
That was probably one thing that I never did have. I never had anyone in my family, and I can't really say that they were that supportive either.
Right, I get you.
Unfortunately. So that was, of course, was tough, and I think it was like an inner drive that I always had, and I kind of just knew that, this is what I want to do, and this is what's going to happen, so,
Okay. And then how did the name of the band Soulsign come to be? Is there any big story to that?
And that's a good question. I think we're looking through names, and we're thinking of names, and then I thought of the name, and I thought it sounded good, and the two words together, and the meaning of it, and everything. And looking back, it was fine. Now, and as time went on, there's a lot of bands with soul in it. So it was kind of like, wow, it's not that unique in a sense. And then also we've faced issues where people, if they don't know what the band is all about, they think it's a different style of music or something.
Right.
But I think like with any name, names can be, there's a lot of goofy names out there, but when you like the music and you know the name, all of a sudden the name itself doesn't really mean anything until you associate it with the band and the music, and then it's a good name if the band is good.
Yep, definitely. And I appreciate the fact that your band name is not 14 words long, because I hate that.
I know, huh? Yeah, it makes it tough, and it makes it tough to pronunciate every time, and and all that stuff. So.
Yeah, there's no doubt there. So, where's a good place for people to go to find out more about Soulsign? What social networking sites, and if you have a website, what's the link for that as well?
It's soulsign.us, and we are on Facebook pretty actively, and we are on Twitter as well. And Facebook we are on, but not as actively.
Okay.
Sorry, MySpace.
Right. I can't. Some bands I talk to say MySpace is coming back for them, and others tell me that they don't ever use it. So it's kind of hit or miss, it seems like.
Right. Yeah, I think so too.
Are you pretty good about responding to fans and stuff on your Facebook page?
I would say we are pretty good. Yeah. It's tough to keep up with it, but we do our best, and I think it's an important thing to do, and it's a good tool, and just about everybody in the world is on Facebook, so I think it's a great thing to be on and to be active on, and to keep posting and all that stuff. So I think Facebook is probably more important than people's official websites, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I think it definitely drives more traffic, and I know as a music fan, I know when I go to a band's webpage, and even if I just post, "Hey, you guys rock," and they like it, at least I know that they're reading my message.
Exactly. Oh yeah, that's a good point. Absolutely.
So, what do you think about the whole music industry as a whole these days? I mean, obviously, it's not the same as it was 5-10 years ago. I mean, it seems like it's just continually evolving. In the fact that the internet now, pretty much, if you know how to record stuff, you can get an album out there. So I guess what's your thoughts on just the whole change in the process that's happened?
Well, I'm not so much opposed to that. I think that the whole issue with the music industry started back in the early '90s. Without pointing any fingers, because I actually do like a lot of those bands that came out. The problem was, in rock, the labels in the industry cleaned house, and they did it too much, and they cleaned out the good acts that were very important for the industry, and that was a big mistake. And I honestly, everybody having access to recording and stuff like that, at home recording, and it's a good thing. I don't think that's the big problem. I think that the fact that you can access music and you can listen to music pretty much for free on the internet, I think that's not a good thing, because artists need to make money somewhere,
right.
And everybody's pointing fingers, and they think that, okay, darn labels and darn this and darn this, and I have to honestly say the root of the problem is the artists and the musicians are not good business people and never have been, generally. So that's the root of the problem, and people need to realize that. And if musicians and artists don't change, it's never going to change.
Right, and for me personally, I think if the labels, I kind of blame the labels a little here, but I think if they would have embraced technology a little more, then they could have made it so, yeah, okay, you can listen, but you have to buy, and I think it would have been in the artist's best interest if things would have been embraced instead of, the whole thing with online stuff kind of seemed almost, to me, felt like it was shunned for a while, and I think it put a bad taste in people's mouths.
Yeah, well, it did, and I think that as far as, you have these sites where, I don't like them, so I don't even want to mention their names, but you can stream music, and they're very popular, and the artists make close to nothing from, I think, like for, an equal band member to make $1, a song needs to be played like 124,000 times.
Right.
So, and and it's interesting because it's, any other industry, it's more expensive to rent than to buy, and music should be the same way. If you want to listen to a song, okay, it's 10 cents or 20 cents, but if you want to buy the song, and you can listen to it 100 times or 1,000,000 times if you buy it, and it's $1,
Right.
It's like 0.00001 cents to listen to a song, or close to free, or it's not working, to me. It's never going to work that way. It's like a catch-22. You need money to tour, but you need to sell records to tour, but you also need to tour to get a record deal.
Right. Yeah, it definitely makes it tough.
That's never going to work out if they don't start charging for music.
Right. So are you guys currently on a label right now?
We're on an independent label, Grand Merger Records, and we're currently talking to some other labels as well, and distributors, and so we'll see what happens.
Okay. Well, best of luck to you with that as well.
Thank you.
So these current tracks that I have, where did you record this music at?
In a couple of different places. The drum tracks are recorded in a couple of different studios, and a lot of the bass and the guitar was actually done at our home studios, and the vocals were done at the singer studio. So, and it's kind of great that it can be done that way, and I'm all for people having access to digital recording. I think it's great.
Okay, very good. So, if I grabbed your iPod or your MP3 player or your record player, however you like to listen to music, what bands would I find you listening to right now?
Oh, that's a good question. Yeah, I'm sort of all over the place as far as old and new stuff, but Bullet for My Valentine, Iron Maiden, of course, Led Zeppelin, King's X, Avenged Sevenfold. And that's just as far as rock goes. I listen to a lot of classical music and all kinds of other stuff as well. So I like the old Motown stuff, and just as long as it's a good song, I think that's the main thing, and I think that's what people need to remember too. And as far as that goes, I think way too many bands think that they need to sound a certain way or fit into a certain box or certain folder or category, and I don't think that's a great right way of thinking, honestly.
No, and I agree. I can't stand it when people get stuck into certain genres of music. I try not to even categorize the music I like by genres because I just dislike it so much.
Right. Oh, I totally agree with you.
I mean, if you hear a song and you like it, I mean, if it's pop or country or jazz or whatever, who cares? I mean, if you like it, then it's good to you, and that's all that matters.
Right. Yeah, there's good and bad in every style, and like you said, it's all about the melody, and if it catches you and it moves you, then hey, then it works, right?
Yep, exactly. So what do you or the guy, what do you guys do to relax when you're not practicing or doing music? What you got any hobbies you like to do to kind of keep you fresh?
Well, not specifically. I mean, I kind of, work with my hobby, and I get to travel in my line of work and stuff like that too. And I love to travel, but I live in Los Angeles, and the whole band does, and it's just a great place to be as far as the weather's great, and there's beaches to go to and hang out at, and parks to hike in, and mountains, and so that's kind of what I like to do. I like to be outside and take advantage of that, and so on. But it's a great place to be too, as far as restaurants, and if you're a social person, there's always stuff going on
Right.
every day of the week. So.
Very good. Well, let me just tell you, while you're sitting in your nice warm climate, I'm in Michigan. It's about 10 degrees, and we have about a foot and a half of snow on the ground. So.
Oh. If I shouldn't be complaining that it's only 70 degrees today.
Oh my God, it's only 70. Jeez, that's horrible.
Yeah.
I feel very bad for you.
I know.
Oh.
Yeah, we're pretty spoiled. Very spoiled.
It's all good. I love Michigan, so it's all good.
Yeah.
So what's the craziest thing that's ever happened to you at a live show? Do you have any? Do you have a crazy story that you'd be willing to share?
Yes. In fact, there's a lot of crazy stuff that's happened, but one pretty funny thing was I was touring with Ingrid Malmsteen in 2008, and it was our first show of the U.S. tour, and we hadn't played in a few months, and we rehearsed for a couple of days, and we were going to go and play the show in Puerto Rico, and then come back and rehearse for a couple more days, and then do the U.S. tour. So we hadn't really played the old songs, so to speak, that we normally play in the set. We've been rehearsing new stuff from the new album, so we hadn't really played those songs in the set for a while. So we're playing and I have to go off stage and my bass breaks, and I had a bass tech on set that was supposed to help me, and I'm looking around, and he's nowhere to be found, and the intro comes on, and looking around, and he's nowhere to be found, and so I'm start searching for the duct tape to kind of tape up the strap, because the screw that goes into the bass is completely broke and fell out, so tape up the bass, and again, you run off stage, and I play the first note kind of like as I'm running onto the stage, and I start playing, and I'm like, I look up, and the first person I see in front of me in the first row is a friend of mine from LA that I hadn't seen in a while, and I'm like, what are you doing here? And she looks at me, she's like, wow, she had forgotten that she knew I was in the band, but she forgot about it, and she's sort of like, wow, that was interesting, and I'm up trying to remember all the notes of the songs, and everything's kind of new, and so it was an interesting show, and a few songs go by, and Ingrid goes into the solo by himself, and I'm thinking, it's going to be, because he normally does two solos, he does a short one and a long one. I'm thinking, okay, here comes the long one. So after drinking a lot of Red Bull and being jet lagged and all that stuff, I'm like, okay, I got to go to the bathroom. So it's one of these things where it's like, half a mile to the bathroom, and then down these hallways, and you turn left, and then you turn right, and left, and right again, and so I was trying to find the dressing room, and I'm going back, and I finally find the dressing room, and I'm in the bathroom, and all of a sudden I hear him start the next song, and I'm like, no, this is a short solo.
Oops.
I'm in the bathroom. So I start running back, and I go, where's the stage? I'm trying to find my way back to the stage. So I'm like halfway through the song, I'm on stage, and I'm playing. But so that, after that, I was like, you know what? I need a wireless system, and I never really, before that, found a system that I liked, and liked the way it sounded and stuff like that. So it's pretty funny. So now I got wireless systems, and I have built-in tuners in all my basses too, just so I can, for all these purposes, I can run off and have my bass, and you gotta know where you are and where your tech is and all this stuff. So pretty interesting.
Very cool. So
yeah, that was a very, very memorable show.
Yeah, no doubt, eh?
And you laugh at it after the fact, of course,
Right. At the time, you're freaking out, I'm sure.
Of course, yeah.
Yep. So, and then to run into somebody that you haven't seen in a long time, that's pretty cool, too.
Exactly. I mean, like I don't care if it's 10,000 people, but I don't want anybody I know to, watch me have an uncomfortable moment.
Right.
So that's one of those things. It's like, the timing is off here,
So, with your current lineup, who do you think, this is just a crazy question, who do you think spends the most time in front of a mirror getting ready for the show?
Oh, in my band?
Yeah.
Oh, that's a good question. Well, I would probably say the least amount of time is probably the guitar player. And drummer second. And, number one, I don't know if it's me or the singer. I don't know. Probably the singer. But I think it's the natural thing for the singer to do. We're more aware of, everything.
Right. Gotta look perfect,
Exactly. Absolutely.
Everybody's staring at you singing.
Exactly. Can't blame them,
Yep. Okay. Is there anything else you would like to tell the world, everybody that will listen to this interview, anything that I haven't asked you want to make sure people know about?
Oh, about me? Or
about Soulsign as a whole, or you individually? Yeah, either or.
Well, we're here to stay, and we've played with a lot of artists, all of us in the past, and we really want this band to go places, and so keep your eyes and ears open. And we're looking forward to going out there and tour, and we're going to be all over the map, so we're really looking forward to the future. And yeah, I think for every person in the world, I think it's important to stick to your dreams and make sure you're happy, and look within yourself and ask yourself, what makes me happy, and what am I doing? What am I striving for? Am I striving for financial success, or am I striving for, going to work every day and enjoying every moment of it?
Very good. Great advice.
Thank you.
No matter what you're into, for sure.
Yeah.
Okay, I have one last thing to ask. I would love a couple radio tags from you if you don't mind.
No problem.
So the first one, you can say, this is Bjorn from Soulsign, and you're listening to rockaddictradio.com.
Okay. Bjorn Englund from Soulsign, you are listening to rockaddictradio.com.
Okay, very cool. That was perfect. Thank you. Cool. And then the second one, you can say the exact same thing, but just throw in there that you're listening to DJ REM at Rock Addict Radio.
Okay. Hi, everybody. This is Bjorn Englund from Soulsign. You are listening to Dr. REM at rockaddictradio.com.
Okay, very cool, man. Appreciate it very much.
No problem.
So, once again, I want to thank you for taking time to talk to me. I also want to thank Mike Burton for hooking me up with you. Very cool.
Oh, cool. Yes.
And yeah, just thanks for the interview. Very cool.
Yeah, you're welcome, man.
I'll keep following you guys, and I can't wait to see what's coming next from you.
Awesome. Yeah, hopefully we'll make it up to Michigan.
That would be very cool. I'll come find you.
Awesome. Sounds great.
Okay. Well, you take care, man.
You too. Take care.
Have a good day. Bye.
All right. You too. Bye.